Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live Scribbles with Jonathan. You can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com. And if you guys are following me on Patreon or anywhere else, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. The people that I had a meeting with this week, thanks. You guys kick ass. I hope you guys had a blast. And thanks for all the feedback and spreading the word. If you're not a member on Patreon, that's cool too. If you guys are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're following me, wherever we're talking, thanks for just being a part of the whole thing and encouraging conversation and stuff. It's really refreshing sometimes. Like, I don't know about you guys, like you start doing your projects or whatever, and it just there's a there's a part where it just usually gets to where it just feels like work, and every now and then it's cool to have a little chit chat with some of you guys and girls. But so I just want to say thanks, and if you guys are working on stuff, I feel your pain and I feel your joy working on all that stuff. So what are we doing today? So this picture here is just a quick sketch that we did during the pre-show. What the hell is the pre-show? Well, from every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is this show. Usually about a half hour before, just to make sure there's no technical issues. We'll just blast some music, come on here and just do some sketching and kind of just shoot the breeze as it's all going and stuff like that. So if you're new to the show, thanks for popping in. And actually, I think, what do we got? One more week left of September. But I don't think I said it last week. But the first week of every month, this show will be the critique show. So if you guys can participate, whenever that is, it's either a week or 2 weeks from now. Get your stuff ready, bring it in, and then throw it in there, and we'll just start hacking away at it. And if we can get you some help and stuff with it, that'd be cool too, and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to be doing today is more Castle Dracula stuff. It's very exciting. The project's moving along very fast, and I'm almost about to start hitting pages. The goal here, and it's actually pretty ambitious, but I'm gonna really bust ass and try to get it there. If not, I'm being lenient. The idea is to get a 32-page mini comic all set for Halloween. So we got plenty of time, you know. Like, so far it's less than a page a day if I were to start tomorrow. But you know how this stuff tends to go. Doing saying you're going to do X amount of pages in X amount of time, and then life shows up. So we'll see what we're doing, but that's the goal for now. If not, if we don't hit that deadline, that's cool. It's still going to be moving along. And I've tied it in so that this sort of acts as like a I don't want to say a prologue, but it's definitely something that's happened before the story, and it will eventually tie in and all that cool stuff. So if you guys are into continuity and you guys like that sort of stuff, that's there too, and all that good stuff. So over the last little bit, we've done a location sketch, which was a very simple one. It was just an image pulled from Google SketchUp of a church, and I will have to go into SketchUp to break the hell out of it up. I want to add a graveyard in there as well, and that's basically the scene that's going to be taking place throughout the book. There's somebody else that's going to be in the book as well, and that's what we're going to be working on today, which is character design. If you guys don't know, the main character here is Gildas. You might not be able to see what the hell's going on here. I don't know what it is. It's just him wrestling with this demon monster thing. Thought it'd be fun and cool. Just do a quick little scribble. But if you guys remember this guy here, let me open it up here. We've given him a name now. His name's Finian, and he's another member of the Ring. And a lot of the names right now I'm just sort of finalizing, and I'm not 100% sold on it. But what the Ring represents is it's the group of demon slayers that are out doing demon slaying. It's an old group. There haven't been too many, like their numbers have shrunk and stuff. But Finian here is Gildas's sort of like they joined the Ring when they were very young, and they've grown up together, so a lot of the adventuring, if you will, that they've done is together. And this character here is all knives. And just to use a Terminator reference, right? Knives and stabbing weapons. That's pretty much what this guy's all about. So, what we're going to do today is some character design, how I like to do designs for something like this. But I will point out in the beginning is that this isn't for video games. This is for comic books. Obviously. What I would like to just put out there for you guys that might be doing this, I don't know if you guys do this kind of thing. I recommend it. But it really pushes your brain into areas that it might not go, and it might not feel comfortable, but theoretically down the line you'll get something better out of it by doing it. And the thing is that this stuff here is crucial for a couple things. One, you're going to work out silhouettes. Batman's got little horns on his helmet. Superman's got that. He's got a shape to his body. If you're to black these characters out, they have a silhouette, they call it. Mickey Mouse's black silhouette next to Batman look radically different, and that's what you want. But in that, if you've got characters on like the same team, there's some unity that you can put in there with some costume elements, and we'll worry about all that. But the other thing is, since I said this is for comics, for me personally, I like to pull back the design a little bit. If it was up to me, I'd go in there and add belts and pouches and like billions of knives, and we could go real creative with it, because when you're doing video games or movies, they just have to design that model and that's it. After that, it's all animation. That model never changes. With comic books, you have to draw this panel after panel after panel, right? So it takes work. So if there's some cool things you can do, we'll say superheroes, for example, there's definitely a reason why Batman looks the way they do. Why these characters, they're very simple in design. Very intelligent people back in the day designed these things. Whether they were really thinking about it or not, I don't know how much design sense a lot of the old artists had, but you have to appreciate when you look at a design like exactly. Let's say Liefeld real quick. We can say like Cable. If you guys have seen Cable, Cable's an awesome character. A lot of pouches and things, right? A lot of things going around that. Iron Man is a perfect example. A lot of people don't like drawing Iron Man. The idea of doing an Iron Man comic is very scary for me. I'm not that kind of artist, that technical side. If you notice, a lot of Iron Man's designs, they get very slick and like not much tech going on, unless it's like a big battle and all of a sudden his arm needs to morph into something to like shoot a giant blast, right? But for the most part, it's to make it so that it's easier. And you could argue that technology gets slicker and futuristic. It starts to look less like an engine in a car or a machine, and it just starts to look more organic, right? So anyway, we're rambling too much. Let's get in here and let's start doing some stuff. So this character here, like I said, what I do, or what I've done, is, whoa, hey, how you doing? Big zooms. Just gonna zoom out here so I can show you guys the process of doing this sort of thing. So this is just a bunch of pencil sketches I've merged down into this. You guys didn't really need to see the process of it, but this would just be a pencil sketch. You could scan it in if you like doing that. I still recommend doing this digital, even if you work traditional. I feel you can get more mileage digital. You're going to see hopefully how we can do this. And then I've just did a gray background behind him, because what we're going to do is we're going to add dark grays and whites to this character, and that's to help add some design, okay? So working with like a mid-gray is actually pretty boss in a situation like this. And then all I did was just copy and paste it a bunch of times and then flatten them. So they're all in their own layer and we're good to go. So what we'll do is we're going to make a new layer over top. And the trick is finding a brush that you like. Let me just get all this garbage out of the way. Now the brush, I mean, you could spend all day going in here. What I like, if you guys do remember, like I said, I know I did. There is a video I've done with this, and I'm not sure if you guys have watched it, because it might not be what you're into and stuff. If you go back and you watch The Butcher King, that's probably more recent. That's another Castle Dracula character. The difference with that one was we were building the silhouette and then adding line art to it. Okay, so what we're going to do with this guy is we have the character design. Like, I know what the body kind of type is that I would like for him, so that's why he's like this. But the design element for the costume, I'm looking anyway for something that's got pressure sensitivity is huge, as well as like a unique shape to it, so that you don't want to get like a small brush and go in there. You don't want this, okay? You don't want this. You don't want to be drawing like this. You could, but the problem is, like, you start to think, at least I do, like I'm thinking, okay, like how does this cape drench over? Does it drench like this, that kind of thing, right? Whereas if you were to get like something that's maybe a little bit more organic like this, you could just quickly sketch in like some shapes, and this looks gross, but right away, like I could see, okay, so now maybe this sort of thing goes in front. And it's like a robe kind of thing. Like, it looks really stupid. I'd never go like that. But that's the intent of why you're trying to do this, is to get these shapes that come out that usually when you change direction of your brush as well, that'll help. So I think we'll just for the purpose of this, we'll stick with this guy. Actually, just give me a second. So see, like something like this is even kind of cool, because you can get some some sharper shape. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna go like that. I don't feel comfortable with it too much, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It means there's a different part of my brain trying to hit that there. So I'm just gonna get rid of the menu here, and I want to be able to see the whole character as we're designing this. What's that? He needs a trench coat with the same headband as Gildas. So he's bringing. Thanks, James. He's actually bringing up a very interesting thing. An interesting point is that these two characters are part of the same group. There should be something that ties them together. So if I saw one next to the other, he doesn't feel out of place. And what I've been trying to decide is if it's the headband and the cape, if that's just the straight design that most of them share. And I've pretty much sold myself that's what I would like to do, is the same style. Now this character, I'm thinking like of a rogue or somebody that's quick, right? So I'll just do like the generic stuff first here. So I'm thinking like maybe we can get like a hood possibly on him. I'm actually just lower the opacity here a little bit. I want to be able to see through. I don't want to go straight black here with this. Right? Maybe he's got like a little bit of a hood, but the hood is also like the cape that they wear, or that Gildas has. Just so that he is a little unique with it, and I'm just going to put those little like box shapes on there. Bring it on the side. And I might get some cool design kind of coming up in here. So all we're using here is brush and eraser. That's it. That's all you're allowed to use. And it just forces you to sort of like look at things a little different, right? And what you'll see, we can also like pull from designs that we like, as well as like adding facial features, right? Like, so in this guy, maybe I want to try like a mustache. You know, he's got like a big old thick mustache. Maybe he's got one of these mutton chop kind of things like this. Is he bald? You know, like these kind of hairstyles you enjoy, and then you can take it and then put it onto another body just to see like, okay, I like this cape, but I want to move this mustache stuff over another character and see how that looks, right? And that's the whole point of doing stuff like this, is that you can get a lot of mileage and range with very little work. Very little work. All right, so we'll have this. The headband you won't really see, I guess, too much. So I'm going to try to think of the rest of his design here. And there's a lot of wonderful character design videos online that I would recommend you guys check out if you can. Just doing like a quick Google search, you'll be able to find quite a bit. Just going to give him some pants here. And you'll see a lot of the detail I'm kind of leaving out. I will draw back with a darker color. Or a lighter color, I should say, because I know I would like to have some like knives on him. So maybe he's got like these big old gauntlet type shoes. What's a penny? Alright, so maybe we can just kind of bring this up like this. I don't know what kind of shirt this would be. I know Gildas, he has something like this that goes across his chest and down one arm. I think we're going to try that with this one. Maybe we can have the cape going over his shoulders. Kind of like a Batman thing, I suppose. And I like the idea of just getting like maybe weird gloves on him. This one's got his fingers out. This one, he just got like bandages across his wrists and hands. And I'm trying to find here too, like right now there's a lot of chaos in the design. I've got like stripes going over here, solid colors going on over here, all this sort of stuff that it makes it very difficult to get a solid design out of a character like this. We'll go here. Now I'm going to see if the white will work here. Alright, cool. So I'm just making little notes for myself here. These would be knives. I'll just cake this guy with knives. Bunch of knives there. Maybe he's got some that hang from his belt. want to stay too much time with this stuff, so I'll stick with that and move on to the next one. And each one, you're sort of building off the last, or just going in a unique direction. Like if you feel things are just going a little too wild. So the design looks fine. I mean, the first one's not, anything too special. Let me just letter these guys up. One last thing too, I would say is personally, I would give these kinds of things like a day if you can at least. So I would do this maybe twice, like a bunch of these guys, and then do something else. Come back to it the next day or the next week and look and go, that's the one I really like. Or just go, you know what? I still didn't hit what I'm like. Nothing gives when I look at the character, they don't look like I can't wait to draw that character a bunch of times. And if that's the case, then keep building, keep building, keep building. Once we do find the one we like, then you can start doing like actual character designs and or like pinups and trying to find like what that character would look like in action. But comics is a pretty brutal deadline job, so sometimes you don't have the luxury, I should say, of being able to just pick which one you want and just seeing it all the way through. So let's put a bandana on this one here. I'm going to try, maybe he's got like a weird mohawk or something. Starting to feel a little bit like a bandit. Beard on him, whatever, we'll try it. I want to see if I can simplify the design here. So I'm gonna use cloak. This one will be pretty similar to the one Gildas has. Now this one actually, maybe we can. I'm gonna riff off of Gildas's pretty hard on this one here. Let's see if we can get the same design. Maybe it's a whole costume sort of thing these guys wear. So you guys got some ideas that we can throw in there. Some dreadlocks. What's that? I suck with clothes even from a girl that has 32 pairs of shoes. That's actually quite a bit of shoes. Is this the sidekick guy? So just yep, this is I guess you could call him a sidekick. They're the same rank where they're from, but for the purposes of this, yes, for the story, I guess there. Millennium Man is saying maybe you should give yourself a limit on how many knives this character can carry. It might help you think of creative places for him to carry them on his person. Yeah, all great ideas. As well as, right, like running out of knives and stuff if you only got two, or maybe they're a little bit more special to the character, right? I'm going to try again, just pulling a lot of design from Gildas himself on here. Gildas has like this stripe that goes like this across his chest. Like this, and then it goes all the way down his arm, like that. So I'm going to try just putting it right here on the character. Oops, yeah, that goes all the way up there like that. Maybe he's got like I don't know, it feels like this guy's missing something. But that's okay. So we got this one, we'll go to the next one. Now this one I want to go with a little, maybe, let's see what we got here. I do like the cloak version. Maybe we can, I don't know what these are called. It's not like, I guess it's kind of like a scarf. But I don't know exactly what it's called. How would that look if it's like a full cloak? Yeah, we don't want to hide them too much. So like that, we can come back down again. Try, maybe he's got, no, it's got to stay the same there for that. Alright, so his hair, maybe we can just do like normal kind of hair. Okay. And see what we want here. Some sharp shapes kind of going around here. Perhaps he's got, what if he's got like a stripe down the middle? And there's a bunch of knives that stick out of that he can grab. So they'll just like left and right. So you can grab them with both hands. Give them like a little different of a belt. Put more knives on these guys. Maybe he's got like gauntlets. He looks like a well, he doesn't have a gag ball in his mouth. It's not that far. It's sort of like a, I don't know what it is. I've seen people. It's sort of like a scarf, but it'd be part of the. I mean, the part I'm adding is that it's got a cloak part to it, but it's like a scarf. I know I've seen them. I just don't know what the hell they're called. People that are like in the desert and stuff might wear them, so that they don't have to breathe in certain stuff. No, we all sound like we all suck with clothes here. So, all right. So maybe he's got like this armor in the front here of his thigh. I know what I'm gonna try in the next one here. Already, I'm gonna see if we can think practical and see what that gets us. So maybe he's got 3 sort of spiky pants down here. I'm just going to color the pants up. So I'm hoping, just by showing you guys this, that you guys are interested in this as well, but that it maybe encourages you to try something like this. Like, as you can see, it's challenging in a different way, but it's also a little, it can be a little refreshing just to, like, you could see radically, like, let's just say 1 is the one we stuck with, and it might be fine, it might work, it might be great, but then you, like, even if these other ones are fails here, you miss out on knowing if the character could be something else, something a little better. A tunic? Is that what it's called? A tunic? Okay, so let's with this one, let's think practical here. So if I'm a guy that's got a bunch of knives, I need to be able to throw knives. Do you want to hide that you can throw it? He's a little stealthy, or is he just brazenly walk around with his chest out, holding a look? He's just littered with knives, and you know what he's about. Like I said when I started, I do like the idea that the spec, if like a client was giving me this, right? It's thief, that sort of stuff, right? So what I'll do now is it's going to be off screen here. I'll see if we can find something. I'll show it to you. What I'll do is I'm just going to type in like fantasy game thief. That's a horrible search thing, but just to get ideas from reference that's out there. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just try to tax my brain as much as I can. I'll do as many designs, 3 to 10 we'll say, of what I think it could be, and then I start to look at other reference and design, and what that ends up doing is not only adds more ideas, but it also feels like it it sort of refines where I could be going and tightens up by combining the two. Um, like I'm already seeing some really cool stuff already. Oh, okay, well, this game is called Thief, I think. Yeah. Uh, um, okay, so there's one here that I actually think that's really cool. Um, we're gonna try that one, and this one here sort of giving me a little bit of an idea of like possibly where the character could go is maybe they're just blind, right? You know, wouldn't that be cool? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily unique, but a blind guy throwing knives sounds kind of cool. He's got a little bandana here. We can get a little Ninja Turtle action. And maybe here he's also got the cloak. Possibly up here we can go a little. And we like again. This is first pass stuff. Whatever we like, whatever couple we like, we can go ahead and take, and we're going to refine this stuff even. What's it called? Even further. So you can have bandana, and maybe oh, this is getting too S&M here. Ugh. So facial hair. That's kind of cool. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I did give him a mouth scar. That's sort of one of the telltale signs of these characters are part of the ring. That they have, there's a defining feature on them. I was thinking of giving them like a tattoo somewhere as well. So we're going to see what's going on there. Forearm throwing knives would look cool. Alright, so we're going to do that. I kind of already like the design of this one. Feels fresh, and the reason for that, the literal reason for that, is I'm gonna actually bring this one up a little bit, is because I've looked at reference and somebody else's idea has crossed with mine, right? So I saw somebody with a bandana over their eyes. It's like, okay, cool. I wasn't thinking of that, so of course by default it's gonna feel good. All right, so he's got those ones there. So we're gonna need knives here. So let's just go ahead and put little slots. That would be across. And I'll make it on this side that they stick out a little bit. Skrillex hair? I don't know what that. Who's that? Is that like an anime or something? A comic book? Okay, I had this idea too that I drew before of, and this might actually work well with that bandana look. It's like oh man, I don't even know what these are called either. It's like a priest or something would wear, you know, like whatever the hell that is. It's like two pieces of fabric that they roll over and they got crosses on them. But we can put a whole shite load of knives up in this, and I can already tell I gotta, you know, as cool as it might look, gotta be careful of complexity. Because if I gotta draw this all the time, right? Like you're not gonna. What I'll end up doing. I don't know if you guys do this or not, but what I'll end up doing is like start finding shortcuts for shots that I'm drawing or angles, because there's just I'm like, oh, do I have to draw all that stuff all the time? You know what I mean? Like, and that's just it's not good. I mean, it's one thing to think of shortcuts to get more work done, for sure, but when it's the sacrificing like potential quality just because of a design choice that currently, if I'm the one doing this, I have full it's up to me, and I get like I'm not answering to anybody. There's zero reason to do that. got bandanas here. Kind of like this design, to be honest with you. And we can even do like really cool, like, you know, this sort of stuff on there. That's pretty sweet. And just to match the design, we're gonna put something on his boots here. So maybe we can kind of mirror the. So on this, like, whatever the hell this is, leather sort of thing, I've gone up to the bicep. This one's the forearm. So this one, we'll just mirror the same thing, but reverse it. So whatever the hell this thigh thing is, it'll go all the way up there, and then on this side, it'll go down to his like knee like this. And that's just it's to break the symmetrical look. And maybe this will give him some shin guards, and we'll put all the armor on the actual feet themselves. We can just figure out what all that armor is after. But he needs something else here. I'm just going to put this on here for pants. Alright, we got shoulder pads. So what would a thief... a thief wouldn't need shoulder pads, but we're gonna put it anyway. What would the shoulder pads be for, without just room for more knives? Maybe he's got. You know what? Maybe we'll just go generic with it. Maybe we can just go get a shoulder pad on there. I'm just putting it in here. I don't even know if we'll use it. Or the cross. Actually, maybe the sides here kind of curl out like that. So the only thing now, like, so I have Picardo has this really cool thing where you can have this dashboard view. So I have that open right now and I'm looking at it. So what it does is it shrinks everything. This guy, maybe you guys can't see it here. I'll shrink it so you guys can see it too. He looks like a villain because of, like, put this guy next to a bad guy and it's probably all the knives giving all these sharp points, but he doesn't look like somebody that would save a bunch of kids. And that is who that character is, right? So I need to pull back a little bit here. Sorry, Donald's got a suggestion here. Do the trench coat and put a shit ton of knives under it. All right, I'm just going to check the reference here. Let's take a look. This internet that I have, it's wireless. It's very, very fast. And by fast, I mean waiting forever for anything to show up. It's great. Okay, so that's taken a while, so I'll just wait. Let's see what else we got here. Just taking a look at reference. Like, even, you know what? This one might be cool. I'm going to try to combine a little bit of... and this one could get a little actually dicey, but what the hell? That's the whole point of this. Is that like a Scorpion and Sub-Zero sort of look from Mortal Kombat a little bit. The only difference is, like, so Scorpion and them, right? Like, they've got this really sick mask right there. That just makes it look too cool, you know. But usually if you can't see a face, it tends to be a little mysterious. Tends to be like that might not be heroic right at the crack. So maybe we can just do something that's not not that, but we can still have everything else. We'll just see where it goes. So I believe their costume goes out like this. This is getting a little ninja like, which is most likely probably not good, but we're not worrying about that right now. Right now is zero cap on creativity. So whatever Ideas you got, put them down. I would use the head of B and the body gear of C, or from D. So this one with the head of this one. And like again, I enjoy a lot of D. I think it's really cool, but there's elements in it that are too villainous, if you ask me. Alright, so we would have the belt and stuff here. There you go, Mortal Kombat. Good to go. So let's see if we can fantasy this up a little bit more so it's not a total rip. So maybe we can put these on like a little angle. And they only go halfway. Maybe a little bend down here. And we'll put that over here as well. It's funny, I just want to give them this mask part right here, and then it's, you know, it's ready to go. So let's give them a little bit more thigh pad action. So I just had an idea here too. What if it is off spec, but we can see if there might be something we can do to it to pull it back. If we can, what would this be like if there's a little bit more offense? So maybe he's just the stabbing weapons part, right? Or I guess slashing weapons might be in there as well, of actual like swords and stuff. Maybe he's like a sword master of some sort. So before we leave this design, let's sort of just add some elements here. There's actually nothing, I just realized here, that ties this character to Gildas at all. So we need a headband on there. Maybe give him a little bit of a mustache, maybe. It's a pretty big ass mustache. That's cool. So we'd have the headband. Is that enough? I'm not sure. Maybe he keeps all these knives, like those are all the knives he has, but these are the pockets on the side. Not really sure about this. It does feel a little not like the same universe sort of thing. Okay, so let's go with swords. Yeah. So he's got like a whole bunch of swords on his back. Maybe they're not just massive swords. Maybe he's a little more ninja. Maybe. He's got these giant swords on his back. For his hair, maybe he's got a little soul patch kind of thing. Maybe you can kind of see his hair, that flowing kind of hair, a little more heroic, I guess. I don't know, that's not really heroic, but because if you can see his face, he's not as you know, all over the place. We'll keep his chest open, but let's try to think. What could we do with this cape thing? Could he bring it in, maybe? Could he drench it over the side? Maybe. Okay, this is what we'll do. He just wears it to the one side, and it just sort of like hangs on the one side. It doesn't go all over his back. It's like a smaller version. No, F would be just like hair that would look like this. Think Bruce Wayne kind of hair, I guess. I know it really doesn't look like it there, but please use your imagination. A kilt. put like that belt thing on there too. Give him the bracers. Get a little bit more combat heavy here. Same kind of boots as Gildas. Alright, so let's just zoom out, take a look what we got. I'm going to do one thing really quick, just so you guys can have... Gildas actually has a kilt too, so it's not... it's not that busted. I just got to try to find one that I have of him. Let's see if I have it. What one was it? Was it it's like Tone or something? Inks. Let's try. I don't think that's gonna open. I'll open. This one maybe. Okay, so this so far is the current design. I'm again not 100% sold on it just yet. The problem, well, it's not a problem, but the design that he has, if we look back at what we're, let's close this. Whoops, thought we saved it. File, save as. So if you look at this design, and I know it is a little different compared to these ones still have that feel that we talked about in the beginning of possibly being, or they do look anyway, that they have too much going on. So either he needs more stuff, which I think he actually does. Just looking at him, it doesn't feel too complete. Whereas these guys tend to look a little bit more intimidating, you know? So if I was to go off of spec, a thief, lots of knives, that sort of thing, where I would like to push some of this, I'm digging D. D does have a lot of stuff in there that I think is pretty cool, but his costume is a little too much. B actually looks very similar to what Gildas looks like right now. If I were to put them next to each other, he would fit very well. Plus, B lets me try different hairstyles and stuff, which is cool. And I do really like the eye band sort of look, like him being blind. I really do like seeing what that could do with story and stuff. And yeah, and I know we talked about B is literally Gildas's design. The only thing that's different is, I guess, would be the way that the guy's wearing the cloak. So let's try that out. Let's see where this goes. So we'll pretend we sent it to the editor. Everything we just said is what your client or whatever said. So the next stage here would be to do just that. What's that? Is the setting arcane punkish? No, the setting would be, I don't even really know what the setting would be. Fantasy comic book style, World of Warcrafty, but not as, I don't know. Well, I guess if I were to say, it's like more like World of Warcraft with big chunky thick armor and maybe a little bit more dark tone to it, something like that. James saying do E plus the swords and swap the mustache for a soul patch. That could work as well. So just for the sake of this, because we've got about 15 minutes left, let's try to make this quick. So what I would do next, once we get back, so I'll take all these and I'm going to group it. And the group one's fine. Make another group. And what we'll do is I'm just going to make a really disgusting selection here. Shift Control C to copy everything you see, so that when you Control Paste, it is everything. Whoops. Got to turn the background off. We don't need the white background. So paste it in there, and I'm going to take this part of the character. just paste it right on top. And we can turn all that other stuff off. So you can see right away what this character design sort of looks like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all I did was just paste the element that I liked on top of it. And this one, I mean, he doesn't feel too... He's different enough, I think, next to this guy. So let's try to see if we can sort of finalize it here. I'm just using some air quotes here. Alright, just to get some pressure sensitivity here. And we're not looking for tight line work, we're just looking for functional. The shoulder plaids could come in. They're not out. None of these stages are meant to be final. Again, just to underline it here with you guys, please, if you're doing your personal projects or if you're working on any project where somebody needs you to do this sort of stuff, unless it's for a deadline or you're just doing it for money and you don't care, I would assume that if this was a personal project, you're sort of like every part of it is your baby, and just rushing something along you probably aren't doing. You're probably lingering on things too long. At least that's what I'm doing. But with this sort of stuff, anything I'm doing tonight I know is not finalizing. No matter how much I love this guy, if that is the case, there's no way that he's staying like this. You'll eventually find that by doing this, you're going to start to know what to pull and pull, and little changes are going to start leaving. Like in a week's time, you might go, okay, I need to pull one little thing out of there. And then a week might go by, or a day, and you're like, this little thing needs to go away. And eventually it just gets to that point where that's the character. That's just there. There's nothing left to take from them. And they've just sort of given you everything that the design would have. So, trying to be somewhat quick with this. Not worrying about beautiful artwork, we're just getting functionable stuff. Right? And I'm going to keep that eye or headband thing for his eye. I think that looked pretty good. Now, he needs that headband as well. So it does look a little weird in here, but with the color or whatever, it would make it a little easier. Now, the shape of his face, I'm trying to go like a blade as well, like that pointed chin. That way he definitely does look different than Gildas. Gildas's face is square. Everything about him is trying to be, anyway, very square. And we'll have the headband sort of draped on him, ripped up. This one will be a little short over here, just make it look a little more fresh. And we'll put the cloak on this side here. And I know it's not really on the design already, but I'm going to just drape it over his shoulder, and then this one can go across like that, so it's not going over. That way we can just have a different look to him. Like, it's not perfect. Nothing about this guy is perfect, right? Like, it's not symmetrical. That's probably a better word. And hoods on characters, oh man, you could spend a bunch of time. So like, and now I'm kind of thinking like, what do we do for this? Do we put a little design on here like that? What if this is like a metal? It's kind of cool looking. Pillow saying, here's an idea. The whole clan wears armor or protective gear, and Gildas is here who doesn't because he's got enough skill not to need it. So it's going to be funny. Well, I don't know if funny, but the main character here, he's not the best at what he does. He just has something about him, and this is classical stuff. It's always in these sort of things. He has something about him that's not necessarily part of why he's doing what he's doing. It's just, let's just say it's like a bloodline sort of thing, right? And there's a hierarchy to the way the ring works, and I'll be explaining more of this stuff to you guys as well over time as you guys see it. But there's like, let's just say I don't have all the terminology I have right now just written down will always be changing, so I don't have like the name of all these things. But the guys running it, like we'll say like the guild masters or whatever, there's 3, and they're the ones that are like the shit. when it comes to all this sort of thing, right? So Gildas and Finian here, they're one step less from becoming like, I suppose you could say like independent on their like. I don't even really know. I'm still working out the details of like how that works. I don't not like if you were to think of it like in Jedi terms, like they're still both Padawans, but there'd be something underneath the Padawan. I don't know what the hell. You guys, if you know Star Wars, might know that. Right. Yes. Yep. All right. So this would have this sort of trim here. Hey, how's it going, Noah? I know there's a face in here. I don't remember exactly what it looks like. Let's get these knives in here. We can actually get this trim, and I guess I'll just play with this. This side, this isn't even symmetrical either. But this trim that we have that's on here, this like it sort of looks like it's iron or something, or silver in their case. We can just mirror that. And sometimes you'll find too, like I'm already finding this here with you guys just by doing like this little exercise, that previous characters you've done, they could go through like an additional change like after the fact, right? Oh, maybe this side's got stitching like the other one. But like I'm already seeing that there's stuff on here that I would like to add to the other character. It's very organic, and I mean, unless like let's say the book was already started and stuff, where you can't really go back and change a design. A lot of this stuff, this is like concept art, right? This is how this stuff works. It's you have one idea of where it's going. Very rarely should it stay that way. Like that's the vision of what got it started. But hopefully you end up with a better version than you would have come up with if you just stuck with it being the way that it was. Okay, so let's just turn off the layer underneath there. So we've got, this would be the character here. I'm just going to tighten up the line art, and we're going to make a selection around this guy. So make sure there's no holes in there. Sometimes too, what I'll do with these guys is I'll print this out in black and white or whatever, and I have a folder that I keep for like a real life folder that I keep all of these designs in. Like I'll print them out and just put them in there, and that way you don't have to be on the computer to see your project. and this is just something that I enjoy. That way I can make little notes on there or whatever if I'm out and about, or if I'm just like, like sitting on the couch watching TV or something like that, or playing games, or hell, even if you're in the bathroom. And you can just go in there and like draw, make notes, and see in a week's time when you come back to this stuff if it feels right, if it's good, if it, just always having a way that you can come back and get more design going. Okay, so why didn't this work? Let's see if that's working. Is the hood chainmail? No, it's just it'd be regular cloth. Just this top right here, this part is just like I guess like an iron band if you were to think of it that way. Chainmail, I don't I don't want to draw chainmail unless I absolutely have to. So I guess I missed some spots here. This is the tedious crap. Let's see if I got this. Okay, that's good. What about out here? Nope. Sorry, guys. Do one more quick pass, see what we missed. That right there. Is that it? Nope. There's more. Okay, that should be it. There we go. So we've selected everything around it, so we're just going to go select. I'm going to whoops, crap. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay, so we got the selection. Select, modify, expand. I want to make the selection a little bit bigger, and then we're going to invert it. Shift Control I, and then now we'll make a new layer. We can just fill it with gray and Alt backspace, and then just drag it underneath. So now we'll have the character, so you can see like right away, like there's this gap. That's cool, but then the hand gets blended in, which once we turn the line art off. This is that silhouette we talked about at the beginning. This is his unique silhouette sort of thing, right? So when you look at this, hopefully when you put him next to like this guy, they don't look the same. There might be some similarities like this. This is very rememberable part of the design where you get like the square pieces on the cloak part, right? But all the knives and things, like they're very subtle. We put the design on them like that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So one last thing here, I'm just going to make a clipping mask to it. And we're going to pick the gray that we just did. I'm going to go a little darker. Now with this one, what this does is it lets us work like this here, okay? So with the clipping mask, I'm going to go even a little more sloppy. A clipping mask, I can go outside, but it'll always stay within what we just put down. That flats layer, if that's the way that you like to work, if you're a colorist. And all I'm doing here is I'm just sort of grouping the selections of what's dark so that it pops off of other light or other dark grays, so we can see like the elements a little bit more clear on the design. That's all. See you, Kevin. Let's see where we're at here. Let's do one more here. Actually, might be able to get away with two here. So I want that eye band to be darker. All this hand stuff, that's got to be darker. But you can see I'm trying to keep it, whether or not it's working. Just simple. As simple as we can kind of get there. And then the last thing we'll do here is I'm just going to make a quick pass of just a lighter gray. No, yeah, I did Matador. I don't have the funds right now to get a Cintiq right now. I spent $800 on getting a new standing table that I got in today, so I don't have to always sit at the day job and then come home and sit all day like I was talking about. But it's definitely on the radar of something to get. So thank you for sending me that. I don't mean that in a way of like you wasted time or anything. It's just good to see that there are those options out there. So when I do make that upgrade, I'll definitely look into that stuff. And the other thing too that I have to check out is a lot of that stuff's in the US. So the cost is actually much more on my end. Like I believe I could be wrong. It might be like 40% right now, or I don't know if it could be 60. So every dollar costs me $1.60, right? So something that's $1,000 is like, it's crazy. Oh no, don't. I appreciate that offer, but don't do that. I still have the Huion. I just it's not. I don't want to say it's not good. It's just once I've just been playing around with the Cintiq again, right? And it just feels more. I'm just used to it more. So going back and forth is just not really working. And there's little nuances, I guess you could call them, that I don't really like with the Huion. There's nothing wrong with it. If it's, I have a whole review on it. Just I prefer the Cintiqs over at least what I've used. Alright, so here you guys can check it out, right? Like this is the gray flats and stuff like that. And you're good to go. I guess one last thing. I know I just said this would be the last thing. We're going to do a multiply. Just a very quick pass of like a shadow. And you really don't even need to do this at all, but kind of want to. There's a lot of pieces going on here, so this quick pass of shadows actually probably going to make this look like shit. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Okay, let's do this here. We'll do the cheese right here. I'll just do a gradient. There we go. That's fine. All right, so yes, it is Noah. Oh, thanks, Pillow. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope what I intended to do with this whole thing with you guys was give you something that some of you might not be doing or know about. If you're traditional or if you even do digital and maybe you're not into concept art, maybe you just like comic books and stuff like that. But digital offers so much. I'm not going to preach the digitalness to you, but because you can totally do this on paper. I'm just recommending that you guys try doing this right now. With your projects that you have and just see what happens. You never know where you're going to go with this stuff, and I think you'll be radically surprised with what you can do with your designs besides just relying on hoping to have a cool design or just what you think is good. I do find when you're doing this, it starts tapping into a different area of the brain that you might not be exercising, or you might, but you might be exercising it when you need it. So an example would be, let's say you're drawing a comic book, and all of a sudden you need to design a bad guy or his minions. Like, unless it's just generic stuff like thugs, where they're wearing, what would thugs look like? Homeless people? That I find a lot of people draw thugs in comic books like homeless people, right? Like, I've been guilty of it too. But like, let's say you're going into a different realm, or there's got to be something you can do very quickly, even if you don't have, if you do have a strict deadline of just doing three versions of what we did with this guy. Do what is on spec, meaning your client or whatever you've given yourself to do, like thug. Um, Generic New York thug, we'll say, and you have an idea. I think we all do of what that looks like, right? That's what we would do. So that'd be the first pass that you would do, like this, really quick stuff. The next one you could do would be sort of like, okay, well, let's push it just a bit. Let's go a little further. Like maybe it's okay. So start pulling in, like, what is it that they do? Are they bank robbers? So what would bank robbers specifically need, right? Do they have masks or something like that? So maybe now the design, they have masks hanging from their belt, or maybe now they wear gloves because they don't want fingerprints. Like you're getting into the little richness of the story. And then the third one would be like, just go way, not off, totally off spec, but start just going a little too far with it. So maybe now they've kind of got themed clothing. It's just T-shirts and stuff, but maybe it's spray painted names on it, and so, like that. That's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do. If you don't, because what it could do is give you something that you're missing in your art, and you don't even know that you're missing it until you go there and you're not asking your brain of it. Because in comics, again, they're deadline heavy, and when you sit down to do them, when you get your script for the day or the page you're going to do for whatever, and it's like 3 thugs attack, blah blah blah, without doing any kind of concept work, I think you're just going to put a generic person down with a t-shirt, jeans, maybe they're ripped up, maybe it's tucked in, maybe he's got a baseball cap, oh god, like there's nothing. What's the word I want to say? I don't want to say there's nothing unique or fresh about it. It's just it has a plain feel to it that's seen all the time. And it could again just be maybe they've got like tape or whatever wrapped around their forearms up to their hands because they punch a lot. Like just something like that maybe the average reader wouldn't notice, but they appreciate because it just enriches the story. And that's basically what I was the long-winded way of just saying what all that is there. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go, and like we usually do, you guys stick around. We'll play the outro song after the recording here, and I'm actually gonna go in there and put in the shadows just for you guys there. Should be able to finish it up in the rest of the story there, or in the time anyway. So if you guys did come in a little bit late, thank you for showing up. Just look at whatever time it is right now and subtract an hour from it. And the show is every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, excuse me, sorry, lose my voice here. So it's from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe there's a subscribe button somewhere here on Picardo if you just showed up. You can click the follow button so you can get an email notification when the show goes live. And I am trying my hardest to do casual streams throughout the week as well, so you guys can check that out. And if you guys wouldn't mind helping me out, if you are watching on YouTube, please click the like or dislike, whatever button you'd like to click. Leave a comment, share it with friends, and if you're doing so already, thank you so much. You guys are the best. I can't tell you what I'm getting out of this besides telling you every time. But there's especially with some of you guys in the Picardo meetings, some of the discussions we've had, they've been kind of they go in places that isn't necessarily art related, but it's just a good feeling to have similar. I don't want to say brethren or anything, but there's problems that people are going through art-wise, that I'm going through as well, or I've been through, and it's just cool to hear flip sides on everything. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I could just keep rambling with all this stuff. And thank you guys once again. And like usual, you guys keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.